boys and girls, and welcome to Storytime with Miss Kim. I have a fabulous story to share with you today about our nation's flag and the history behind it. Oh, it is such a beautiful story. This story is called The Flag We Love by Pam Munoz Ryan, illustrated by Ralph Masiello. Look at that beautiful cover. Wow, in the month of June is Flag Day. And in July is, that's right, 4th of July. Wow, and we see a lot of our nation's beautiful flag. Well, let's begin. I have a shout out to a special lady who gifted me this book. Hi, Sharon. Thank you. She wanted me to share it with you guys. Let's begin. Our flag is our country's symbol of ideals that are meant to last. It's a promise for our future and a reminder of our past. The many connotations for which our banner stands reflect our country's best intentions and the people of the land. Look at that. I bet you see a lot of flags out there, right? A seamstress stitched a banner for a country proud and new, from ribbon works of red and white and a yard of deep sky blue. Look at all that. Who made the first stars and stripes? No one knows for sure. There are many stories and myths about its origin. Many historians consider Francis Hopkinson, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, to be the designer. Betsy Ross, a seamstress, did sew one of the earliest versions of the flag for the Pennsylvania Navy in 1777. As for who made the very first flag, it is still a mystery. America's first flags had 13 stars on a blue field and 13 stripes to represent the 13 colonies. At first, there were no guidelines about the arrangement of the stars and stripes, how big the blue field should be, or how many points the stars should have. Flag makers were free to make many designs. Look at that. Wow. It's pretty tedious work when you have to use a needle and thread with your hands, huh? A teacher raises a radiant flag to let the children know the schoolyard is a place to come for the chance to learn and grow. The Stars and Stripes flew over a log schoolhouse as early as 1812 in Coleraine, Massachusetts. In the late 1800s, James B. Upham, a patriot, wanted school children to show love for their country. He asked them to save their pennies to buy American flags for their schools. His idea was popular with both children and adults, and within a year they raised enough money to purchase thousands of flags. Today, as a patriotic custom, the flag is still flown near schools when classes are in session. Wow! Do you guys put a flag up when you are in school? Maybe some of you still do. Americans stand together before ceremonies start and promise their allegiance with their hands across their hearts. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I bet you've heard that, haven't you? The original Pledge of Allegiance, written by Francis Bellamy, first appeared in children's magazines in 1892. He wrote it to honor the 400th anniversary of Columbus's voyage to America. The following month, children first recited the pledge in public schools in celebration of Columbus Day. Yeah, wow. The diligent stars and stripes waved on through the long and pounding night, while patriots prayed that they would see their flag at morning's light. From a boat in Baltimore Harbor, Francis Scott Key observed the British bombing of Fort McHenry in the War of 1812. During the night, he saw only glimpses of the American flag through the smoke and flares of light. The next morning, he was so happy to see the flag still flying that he began writing a poem. Later, this poem was put to the tune of another song and become Americans' national anthem. Do you know what it is? That's right, the Star-Spangled Banner. The flag that inspired the Star-Spangled Banner was made of Mary Pickersgill and her daughter, Caroline. It measured 30 feet by 42 feet. It was as wide as most two-story houses are tall. Wow! Today, that restored flag is on display at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Have any of you visited in Washington and saw this flag? Wow, beautiful. Look at that. Well, let's keep reading. A casket draped with a solemn flag journeyed the countryside while people came from town and field to mourn the man who died. Who do you think it was? Well, let's read on. While the flag is often flown during joyous occasions, it is also displayed at serious events. When President Lincoln was assassinated in 1865, his flag-draped casket was carried by train from Washington, D.C. to his family home in Springfield, Illinois. When the flag is flown halfway down the flagpole, it is said to be flying at half-staff or half-mast. It is flown in this position to honor the memory of someone who has died. I bet you've seen a flag that is halfway up the flagpole, huh? I have. It makes you think and say a little prayer for that person who died. Yeah, can you see his picture here? Yeah, it's President Lincoln. Explorers carried a weary flag through snow and sun and wind and left the banner on the spot that marked their journey's end. In 1926, Richard E. Byrd and his pilot, Floyd Bennett, were the first to fly over the North Pole. 3 years later, after Bennett died, Byrd and 3 companions were the first to fly over the South Pole. Before that historic flight, Byrd took a stone from Bennett's gravesite and tied it to a small American flag. Then, as he flew over the South Pole, he dropped the flag and stone as a tribute to his ex-pilot and to all the polar expeditions. Explorers often plant flags when they reach their destinations to show that someone from their country has been there. Wow! Can you see it? Yeah. Isn't that neat? Wow. Children wave their festive flags and parade along the way as the drum rolls and trumpets blare the rhythms of the day. On July 4, 1776, the original 13 colonies declared their independence from Great Britain. This new United States of America adopted a constitution in 1787. The next year, on 4th of July, the citizens of Philadelphia held a parade in celebration. Over the years, this practice continued. The 4th of July, or Independence Day, has become a time for flags, parades, picnics, and fireworks. And family time, right? Yeah, we all get together and celebrate our nation. Fun. Athletes strain to be the best to the wild and thunderous roar of fans who chant their country's name with hopes their team will score. The flag is flown at national and state parks, on public buildings, and at all types of sporting events. The Olympic Games bring together athletes from all over the world. After each event, the winners stand near their country's flag. Fans cheer for their teams in sports events because they have something in common: their school, hometown, heritage, or their country. It is only natural to want your fellow Americans to win, because when they do, it feels like you have won too. Isn't that right? We get all excited when we have the Olympics, don't we? And we hope our athletes win. When people come to our great country aboard ships that cross the sea, they are welcomed to our harbors by the flags of liberty. Since 1942, the flag has been flown in all of America's ports of entry. It is one of the first things seen by people aboard ships. In this way, visitors from other lands and America's returning home are welcomed by the symbol of freedom. On land or at sea, when the flag is flown upside down, it is considered a signal of emergency or distress. Yeah, that's the way they tell people that something is wrong. Astronauts planted a peaceful flag on a far-off, distant world where it stands serene and silent, with the stars and stripes unfurled. In 1969, Apollo 2 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin Jr. landed on the moon in the lunar module Eagle. On this historic journey, they took 3 American flags. One was planted on the moon, and the other 2 were brought back to Earth and flown over the House of Congress. Near the flag planted on the moon is a stainless steel plaque that reads, "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot on the moon. July 1969 AD, we came in peace for all mankind." Astronauts have planted American flags on the moon 6 times, one flag for each Apollo mission that landed there. Wow, check out that astronaut. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Heroes shoulder valiant flags twice, 3 times, and more, and claim the fronts of battlefields on home and distant shores. Many Americans have died fighting for our country and for the rights of people around the world. Many monuments have been built to commemorate these heroes, including the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Plaques and statues are placed in parks and near public buildings all over the country to honor our nation's heroes. People leave flags near monuments as a tribute to those they love. See, there's the Vietnam Memorial Wall. The Vietnam Memorial Wall. Have any of you been there? I have seen it years ago, and what a sight. Wow. Citizens march for freedom with action, faith, and word. A righteous banner guarantees their voices will be heard. The government of the United States of America is based on democracy, or government by the people. The flag represents the people's rights to defend our protest or protest a cause, to speak out about the things in which they believe. People often carry flags as a symbol of these rights. The Latin words e pluribus unum, or one out of many, appear on the Great Seal of the United States, which was designed as an emblem for the United States government. E pluribus unum means one nation made up of many states, or one nation made up of many people. Wow, look at that. What a beautiful sight, isn't it? A brilliant flag is shining in a fireworks of light, while the people watch in wonderment in the deepening, darkling night. Communities celebrate national holidays with fireworks and patriotic music. On these occasions, Americans often feel a kinship with their fellow citizens and a loyalty to their country. There is no official record of why red, white, and blue were chosen for the American flag. A resolution regarding the Great Seal of the United States defined the meanings of the country's colors several years after the flag was designed. Red stands for hardiness and courage. White for purity and innocence. And blue for vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Wow. On the 4th of July, we see that, don't we? Lots of fireworks. And our flag flying. Ah, what a beautiful sight. A citizen wears a symbol, a tiny flag-shaped pin, as a promise for our future and a reminder of where we've been. People show their patriotism in many ways. They wear flag pins, display flags outside their homes, and participate in parades. When you see the American flag, remember that it does not represent one cause, but many causes. That it does not represent one person, but many people. And that it does not represent one ideal, but many of Americans' hopes and dreams. Wow. How beautiful. She's putting the pin on his lapel. Celebrate the flag we love, a majesty in the sky, and feel the pride that swells inside as our banner goes streaming by. What a beautiful sight to see a big flag, right? In the sky. A lot of times you see them in car lots. They're huge. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this book about our flag's history. I enjoyed reading it to you. And remember, a good book and your imagination will take you anywhere. Until next time, bye.